Welcome to the Equity Team Podcast, where we provide Sedona, Arizona real estate insight to help you thrive during your next real estate transaction.
Hello, this is Chad McMahan with the Equity Team. Welcome back. In this episode, I'm going to be sharing one of our many kind of secret sauce methods of getting a great deal for our clients. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you just again, one of these really powerful tools. So one of the methods that works really well in the market that we're in right now, which is it's a softer market. There's concern that sellers and buyers have right now about what's potentially around the corner. But there's also a lot of hope, and we've seen interest rates come down. So anyway, one thing that's working really well for us, and part of this is how we negotiate with sellers and listing agents. It's how we communicate. It's how we present it. It's how we stay in touch. You know, all these things are critically important, but it's basically presenting an offer on properties that they meet two criteria. One is they've been on market longer and they haven't sold. The other criterion is that we've already seen a price reduction. It's not just stuck at the same price. So here's the sweet spot. Okay, the sweet spot. Now you can see here agent days on market. I did this in descending order. This one on Arabian's been on market for 804 days. Now that could be a great thing, or it might be too long, believe it or not. Let me scroll down and I'm going to show you the sweet spot. The sweet spot starts right about here at 3 months, 90 days. Okay. So right around it could be that there's an amazing opportunity with something that's only been on the market for a month or 2 months. And that happens too. But typically around 3 months, sellers start to get pretty itchy. They get pretty anxious at that point. That's pretty normal. Sometimes, you're going to have sellers that say, oh, I don't need to sell it. There's no rush. It's okay. But they start to feel that when you hit about 3 months and they start to get more motivated. So 90 days on market, 90 days to about 150 days is a really good sweet spot. That's right in that time, because it can get to a point where some other things happen. Maybe sellers say, forget it. I'm not even going to sell my property. I'm going to pull it off market. We'll try again in a year or two. And then when they make up their mind, even if you do reach back out again, then they're like, no, it's not for sale. So it's a fickle thing. You got to strike while the iron is hot. And this is that sweet spot. Now, the other thing that you look for is, from the original listed price, has it come down in price? Have they done price reductions? So just as an example, let me go ahead and show you. I'm going to go start here at 90. Okay. So you can see this one here. It's listed at just shy of 2.3. It was originally listed at 2.45. So they've done a price reduction. They've been on market for 3 months. So this would be something that there's an opportunity there. This one on Cougar. So this one doesn't feel like it's really much of an opportunity there. They've come down in price 50,000. So I would say with this strategy, you could try, but I would say skip it. Same thing with this one, listed 759. It's at 750. I would say for this strategy, skip it. This one's the same price, skip it. This one, originally listed at 1,145. Now it's at 995. This one I'd consider this to be a great opportunity with this strategy. This one on Whitetail, originally at 1.275. Now it's at 1.195. There potentially could be that there's something there. This one on Sherman, it was originally on 1.57. Now it is at 1.45. There's potential here. And, this one would have sold on, within the first week if it was short-term rental friendly, but it's not. So that one has hurt this one. Great property, by the way. This one here on Brielle, originally listed at 1.14. Now it's essentially 1.1. So it's come down a little bit. Not much, but maybe there's room for something. This one here hasn't changed at all in price. This one here has come down quite a bit. So I would say this is, there's room here. Now, that being said, this is identifying a problem. So this is something your agent should do. But the next step is going to be, identify a property that you most love and the one that you really want, and then have your agent put in an offer for you, something that's not obscene. I mean, this strategy won't work except for maybe 1% of 1% of the time. If the offer is too low, that's a given. But you come in, let's say, for example, let's say it was originally listed at 1.2 million. Now it's at 1 million. It's been on the market for 3 or 4 months or 5 months, something like that. And so you come in at, let's say, 900,000. It's a property you love. You really want it. Okay. You come in at about 900,000. And let's say the sellers, and by the way, this is what will happen most of the time. Let's say the sellers counter at 960 and you say, I'm sorry, 900 it's my best offer. Okay. This is assuming this is a situation for you. For you, it might make sense to do 960 or counter again at 940, 950 and see if you can get it done. But if it really is a hard line in the sand for you and financially you just can't do it or you can't justify it for whatever reason, you let that offer of 900, you let it marinate. You let it sit out there and then the agents keep talking. So this is what we do all the time, for our clients. We have a legitimate, qualified offer. Of course, it's always stronger if it's cash, but most people can't do that. So even financed, whatever it may be, but you let that offer out there and then you let the agents keep talking. And, sometimes this can take, 60% of the time, the sellers are just going to say, no, I'm just not interested. Sometimes they will be offended. Sometimes they won't. Sometimes they have a hard line in the sand and they just can't do what you're wanting to do, in which case it's just not going to happen. But we find that we have a pretty good success rate, about 40%, 40% of the time, we're able to get deals done where it just takes a while. Takes anywhere from 3 days to about 3 weeks. And the agents keep talking. And then, you just keep that flame alive, or the agents do rather. And then eventually the seller says, gosh, maybe I should take that offer. And this is a conversation they're having with the listing agent. And then it comes together. And it's a beautiful thing because then it becomes a win-win. It's not anything anyone is forced to do. It works well for the buyer that can be a little bit patient, gets them a great deal on something. And then the seller gets to sell this property that for whatever reason has been more challenging than they expected, or maybe their finances have gotten worse, or whatever the situation is, and they need to get it done. So this video is not instructional video on how to lowball. That's not the goal here. Okay, it shouldn't be lowballing offers, win-lose negotiating. That's not what this video is about. This is a video that is to just remind everyone that there are a lot of ways to get, deals that don't involve throwing out a ton of lowball offers. And this is a patient strategy based on seller activity, property activity, and there are a lot of different components of it. So, reach out to us, call me, text me, email me, schedule an appointment to chat, whatever it is, and we can talk about a few properties, see if maybe it makes sense for that. But I hope this has been helpful, and I sure hope to hear from you. All right. Take care. Stay safe.
Thanks for tuning in to the Equity Team Podcast. To speak with one of our top agents, visit us at owninaz.com. That's OWNINAZ.com. Or call us at 928-323-0031.